Okay, good evening, everyone. Hi, happy International Women's Day. Thanks for choosing to mark it by taking part in this evening's virtual quiz. So I'm Helena, and myself and Laura and Sophie are going to be your quiz masters tonight. So tonight's event is officially co-hosted by the Cambridge University Liberal Association, Cambridge University Conservative Association, and Cambridge University Labour Club. So Labour, Conservative and Lib Dem society is just coming together in a show of political unity. And it's also being supported by the wonderful feminist societies at Jesus, Trinity Hall, Girton, St Catherine's, Magdalen, Queen's, St John's, and Emmanuel colleges. So all of the donations we're going to receive tonight will go directly to Cambridge Rape Crisis Centre, which is a fantastic local charity offering life-saving and life-changing support to survivors of domestic abuse, to rape, sexual violence. We're going to hear a bit more about the work of CRCC during the halftime break. But first, I'm going to talk you through the rules and how it's going to work tonight. So we're going to have 7 rounds of questions tonight, and we're going to have an ongoing picture round for teams to work on throughout. So we're going to have 4 rounds of 10 questions, halftime break, and then the scores on the board at halftime, and then 3 further rounds of 10 questions. We'll be taking all of your answers via Google Forms. So you should see below this video, there are links with CULA kind of quiz 1, quiz 2, and picture round. So you'll follow the link provided and you'll fill out a distinctive team name and all of your answers. So quiz 1 should take you to the first form where you'll be able to fill out your answers, and when you click submit, it will take you to the form to fill out the answers for the second round, and so on. All the answers are going to be marked automatically, so it should be a speedy process, but will also be checked by Hannah, our woman behind the scenes, to make sure that all the correct answers are counted and you get the marks. Hopefully, if that didn't quite make sense, it should explain itself as we go along. And the teams, there should be a maximum of 5 people. You could be students, Cambridge residents, academics, or just, good people from anywhere who want to test their knowledge and support a great cause. We're asking for everybody who takes part tonight to make a donation on our Virgin Money giving page, if you're able to, and you can find this link below as well. We recommend a £5 donation per person, but please just give what you can. Last year, we raised over £1,200, so let's see what we can do this time. Thanks to everyone who's already donated, so that we're already starting on a pretty hefty sum, which is fantastic. And there will be prizes. The top 2 teams, thanks to the kind donations from the treasurers of CULA and CUCA. So first place will get £50 worth of vouchers for anything you're choosing, whether that's like for a restaurant, for Jack's Gelato in Cambridge, book vouchers, just anything you can get vouchers for. Or if you're feeling particularly charitable, you can donate a part or all of your winnings to Cambridge Rape Crisis Centre. Second place will get £30 worth of save. One final thing, we know you're at home. There is nothing stopping you from literally just Googling the majority of the answers, but I want to appeal to your consciences, to your better selves, to resist the temptation to play fair and just have fun. So I think we can get started if that's okay with everyone behind the scenes. So the first round is going to be presented by Laura.
Hello. Okay, so the first round is called Who Are We? And the way this round works is that I'm going to give you descriptions of 2 people, and you need to give us both names. You get half a point for each name that you mention. Okay, so question 1. The first person is a founding father whose defense of colonial unity earned him the title the First American, and the second is a chemist whose work uncovered the structures of viruses, coal, graphite, and DNA. Okay, next question. America's most decorated gymnast and a French writer and intellectual whose work had a significant and a mathematician and early computer programmer who received a posthumous apology from Prime Minister Gordon Brown and a posthumous pardon from Queen Elizabeth. Question 4. The first Black woman elected to Congress who ran for the Democratic Party's presidential nomination in 1972, and a Welsh singer who recorded themes for the Bond films Goldfinger and Diamonds Are Forever. Question 5. An Austrian symbolist painter best known for The Kiss and the English composer of The Planets Suite. Question 6, and this one is a mother-daughter duo. First is an English writer and early feminist philosopher, and the second is the author of what's been called an early example of science fiction writing. Question 7. The youngest chef and the first British chef to be awarded 3 Michelin stars, and a Venetian merchant and explorer who travelled the Silk Road to Asia. Question 8. The First Lady of Argentina from 1946 to 1952, who championed women's suffrage and ran the nation's first large-scale female political party, and the American singer best known for her interpretations of Fields of Gold and Over the Rainbow. Question 9. A French football coach and ex-striker, often considered one of the greatest players in the history of the Premier League, and an artist known for his use of colour, who was a leader of the Fauvist movement. And finally, question 10. The host of a popular UK quiz show who's written books on the Victorians, Empire, and the English, and a utilitarian philosopher whose body is preserved in UCL. So that's the end of round 1, and I'll pass back to Helena, who's going to read out the questions for round 2.
Thanks. So just a reminder to press submit on the first bit of the Google form, and then it should take you to the next rounds, kind of where the questions. So you can submit that now, or if you want to, mull over them for a bit longer, you can leave it and then submit it a little bit later, but obviously well before half time, so we've got time to do the scores then. Okay, so now we're going to start the second round, which is all about numbers. The answers are all numbers in increasing orders. So that's a little clue to help you out if you're feeling stuck. Okay, so question number 1. How many sacred items are Khalsa Sikhs commanded to have on their person at all times? Question 2. How many figures are there in Botticelli's painting, The Primavera? Question 3. How many days did the Cuban Missile Crisis last? Question 4. How many lines are there in a Shakespearean sonnet? Question 5. What is the molecular weight of ammonia? Question 6. In cricket, what score is known as a Nelson? Question 7. Which book title derives from the temperature point at which paper is believed to ignite? Question 8. What is the most legs ever discovered on a species of millipede? Obviously, it should say question 8 and not question 58 on the PowerPoint. Question 9. How much, in pounds, is the Nobel Prize monetary award? And question 10. In dollars, how much has the Mars Perseverance rover mission cost? So that's the end of the second round. And before we go further, we're going to go back and do a quick fire of all the questions. But before we do that, just to mention that we are almost at £500. So thank you so much to everyone who's donated so far. And if you haven't already, then please do so we can watch it tick up. And for a reminder for those submitting questions, that once you've pressed submit on the first Google form, that's the first link that's below, you'll then be taken to the second one to fill out questions there. So until you submit the first round's answers, you won't be able to submit the second round's answers, but they're all there. If you click submit, it will take you there. Okay, so let's go back to round one, and I'm going to really quickly just read you the questions to remind you all, and if you have any gaps, then you can be reminded of what the questions are. Are you ready? So, number one, a founding father whose defense of colonial unity earned him the title the first American, and a chemist whose work uncovered the structures of viruses, coal, graphite, and DNA. Question two, America's most decorated gymnast, and a French writer and intellectual whose work had a significant influence on both existentialism and feminist theory. Question three, a beat poet, best known for Howl, which became the subject of an obscenity trial, and a mathematician and early computer programmer who received a posthumous apology from Prime Minister Gordon Brown and a posthumous pardon from Queen Elizabeth. Question four, the first Black woman elected to Congress who ran for the Democrat Party's presidential nomination in 1972. And a Welsh singer who recorded the themes for the Bond films Goldfinger and Diamonds Are Forever. Question five, an Austrian symbolist painter most famous for The Kiss and the English composer of the Planet Suite. Question six, a mother-daughter duo, the first being an English writer and early feminist philosopher, the second being the author of what has been called an early example of science fiction. Question seven, the youngest chef and the first British chef to be awarded 3 Michelin stars, and a Venetian merchant and explorer who travelled the Silk Road to Asia. Question eight, the first lady of Argentina from 1946 to 52, who championed women's suffrage and ran the nation's first large-scale female political party, and the American singer best known for her interpretations of Field of Gold and Over the Rainbow. Question nine, a French football coach and ex-striker, often considered one of the greatest players in the history of the Premier League, and an artist known for his use of colour who was a leader of the Fauvist movement. And question 10, the host of a popular UK quiz show, who's also written books on the Victorians, Empire, and the English, and a utilitarian philosopher whose body is preserved in UCL. The questions for round two, and remember these are in increasing order to help you out. Question one, how many sacred items are Khalsa Sikhs commanded to have on their person at all times? Question two, how many figures are there in Botticelli's painting, The Primavera? Question three, how many days did the Cuban Missile Crisis last? Question four, how many lines are there in a Shakespearean sonnet? Question five, what is the molecular weight of ammonia? Question six, in cricket, what score is known as a Nelson? Question seven, which book title derives from the temperature point at which paper is believed to ignite? Question eight, what is the most legs ever discovered on a species of millipede? Question nine, how much in pounds is the Nobel Prize monetary award? And question 10, in dollars, how much has the Mars Perseverance rover mission cost? So I'll give you a couple more seconds to finish everything off there. Remember that the picture round form is in the YouTube description, and that's a round we're not going to read out. It's there for you to open and do kind of as we go through the quiz during the break and so on. But that is also in the link below. Okay, so enough from me. We're now going to go to Sophie to take you through round three.
Hi guys, welcome to the quiz. I just want to say welcome to all the fantastic feminist societies that have supported us, all the parents that have been dragged in, all the family members, shout out to Juliet West, and to all the political societies, so COLC and CUCA and obviously CULA. But without further ado, going on to round three, it's called Where in the World, and essentially the answer to every question is a place. It becomes fairly obvious after you read the question. So moving on to question number one. The most recent piece of street art confirmed to be the work of graffiti artist Banksy appeared in which city? Moving on to question number 2. In which modern-day country was the ancient civilization of the Olmec? Question number 3. The majority of the territory of the Khmer Empire, or the Empire of Angkor, today forms which modern-day country? Question number 4. The ill-fated Roanoke colony, an attempt by Sir Walter Raleigh to found the first permanent English settlement in North America, was situated in which modern-day US state? Question number 5. On which island is the television show Love Island filmed? Question number 6. Which country was the Titanic closest to when it sank? Question number 7. In which city does the main route of the Orient Express terminate? Question number 8. The following are ancient names for places. What are they known as today? Aquae, Carthage, and Parthia. Question number 9. The Koh-i-Noor diamond is thought to have been mined in which country? And the final question of this round, question number 10. The Wind Shakes Barley is a 2006 film set during the Independence War of which country? And that's a wrap on that. I'm going to go back through the questions pretty quickly. So starting again with question number 1. The most recent piece of street art, confirmed to be the work of graffiti artist Banksy, appeared in which city? Question number 2. In which modern-day country was the ancient civilization of the Olmec? Question number 3. I've been told I pronounced this incorrectly, and I'm going to pronounce it incorrectly again, probably. The majority of the territory of the Khmer Empire, I think, Laura, today forms which modern-day country? Question number 4. The ill-fated Roanoke colony, an attempt by Sir Walter Raleigh to found the first permanent English settlement in North America, was situated in which modern-day US state? Question number 5. On which island is the television show Love Island filmed? Question number 6. Which country was the Titanic closest to when it sank? Question number 7. In which city does the main route of the Orient Express terminate? Question number 8. The following are ancient names for places. What are they known as today? Aquae, Carthage, Parthia. Question number 9. The Koh-i-Noor diamond is thought to have been mined in which country? And finally, The Wind Shakes Barley is a 2006 film set during the Independence War of which country? Cool. That's a wrap from me. We're going to our fourth round, which is Laura, before we have a small break. Yeah, on to you, Laura.
Hi again. So this is the last round before the break. I just want to very quickly remind everyone, because we've had a few questions, the link to the next round will come up at the end of the previous round. So don't shut the Google form when you finish. You can click on to the next round. And if you get lost, one of our committee members is going to put the new links in the chat so you can go and find the link there. So the last round before the break is a linker round. So I'm going to ask 9 questions, and then the 10th question will be, what is the link between your previous 9 answers? So question 1. In Baz Luhrmann's 1996 adaptation of Romeo and Juliet, what is Juliet dressed up as in the scene where she meets Romeo? Question 2. Which celestial body has a circumference of roughly 4.38 million kilometers? Question 3. The philosopher Descartes believed that the pineal gland was the seat of what? Question 4. What is the name of CNN's chief national correspondent, a cult hero of the recent US election? Question 5. Aslan is the Turkish word for what animal? Question 6. The dome of the rock is capped with what? Question 7. Which letter of the Greek alphabet appears in the name of a class of medications used to manage abnormal heart rhythms? Question 8. A katana is a Japanese variation of which type of weapon? Question 9. Which stylish jazz pianist and composer is responsible for the jazz standards Round Midnight and Ruby My Dear? And the final question of that round is, of course, what is the link between your previous answers? And the answers may not be exactly spelled in the way that you would expect them to be to find the link. So a bit of lateral thinking is required. Okay, so I'll go through the questions from that round again briefly. Question 1, in Baz Luhrmann's Romeo and Juliet, what is Juliet dressed as when she meets Romeo? Question 2, which celestial body has a circumference of roughly 4.38 million kilometers? Question 3, Descartes believed the pineal gland was the seat of what? Question 4, what's the name of CNN's chief national correspondent, cult hero of the recent election? Question 5, aslan is the Turkish word for what animal? Question 6, the dome of the rock is capped with what? Question 7, which letter of the Greek alphabet appears in the name of a class of medications used to manage abnormal heart rhythms? Question 8, a katana is a Japanese version of what kind of weapon? Question 9, which stylish jazz pianist and composer is responsible for Round Midnight and Ruby My Dear? And the final question, what is the link? So this is our last round before the break. So we'll take 10 minutes off now. You can think about that question and then submit your form. There's also the picture round, which you can be filling in. And yeah, I think that's it. We'll see you back in 10 minutes.
Okay, welcome back, everybody. That is the end of the break. Hope you had a nice break, got a drink or something like that. So before we hear the scores and the answers for the first half, and before we get started with the second half of the quiz, I'm just going to spend a moment talking about a bit about the charity we're supporting tonight. And this will contain mentions of sexual violence. So if you'd rather not hear it, then please feel free to extend your break for another minute. And whilst you're listening, make sure you submit. You need to submit your answers before I finish speaking, otherwise they won't be marked. You need to put your team name in, and please just submit the answers before I finish speaking. So to tell you a bit about Cambridge Rape Crisis Centre, it's a local charity with a huge impact. It offers services to women and girls impacted by rape and sexual violence. In 2020, they helped 292 survivors by the advocacy team. 300 survivors received counselling support. 701 calls were taken by their helpline volunteers, and 321 emails were responded to by their email support volunteers. Now, the pandemic has had a pretty deep impact on their work. CRCC told us that survivors have been re-traumatised due to isolation and restrictions. Women and girls have been trapped with their abusers in lockdown. The collapse of the criminal justice system means even more delays for trials. Vulnerable children have lost access to trusted adults with the closures of schools, and there's a lack of access to primary care services. They also told us that demand for our services has always exceeded capacity, and COVID-19 has compounded that, with the demand and intensity for support needed being the greatest we've seen. In Cambridge State and Peterborough, since the pandemic began, there's been a 53% increase in the need for our emotional support services and a 67% increase in the demand for our advocacy services. CRCC said that their services have become more life-saving than life-changing right now. They've seen a 35% increase in women and girls with suicidal thoughts contacting their helpline or email support services. Now, CRCC has continued to run all of its services throughout the campaign, with face-to-face services being offered online or by telephone, and it wants to reassure women and girls impacted by sexual violence and rape that they're here for you and that you're not alone. They told us that we are growing and adapting to meet the needs of survivors, developing new methods of support, such as a virtual counselling and a live chat service. And this is where donations and fundraising really makes a difference. It allows us to keep going, to develop, and to make sure we keep going in the term. When COVID-19 is hopefully a memory, many women and girls are still on their recovery journey. So if you can, please do donate to help support the work of this amazing charity. And anything you donate is going to go directly to them. I'm now going to pass back to Sophie to tell us how things stand on the scoreboard and the answers. So this is your absolute final call. If you haven't submitted your answers now, you've got about 5 seconds.
Yep, and you don't need to submit the picture round. That can be submitted at the end. Also, make sure you've refreshed the picture round form, just because we didn't have the team title entry in the first place. So brilliant to do that. So right now, apparently we're at £576. To anyone who hasn't donated yet, think of all those restaurants you haven't been to, those cafes you've been barred from. That could go here if you fancy donating tonight, and we'd be really grateful. But moving on to the actual answers to the questions you've just answered, greatest sympathies, because we wrote this quiz and it's actually really, really hard, and I wouldn't fancy being the one answering it. But round one, question one, Benjamin Franklin and Rosalind Franklin. Question two, Simone Biles and Simone de Beauvoir. Question three, Allen Ginsberg and Alan Turing. Question four, Shirley Chisholm and Shirley Bassey. Question 5, Gustav Klimt and Gustav Holst. Question 6, Mary Wollstonecraft and Mary Shelley. Question 7, Marco Pierre White and Marco Polo. Question 8, Eva Peron and Eva Cassidy. Question 9, Thierry Henry and Henri Matisse. And question 10, Jeremy Paxman and Jeremy Bentham. That was round one. Moving on to the answers from round two. Question number 1, the answer was 5. The number of figures in Botticelli's painting was 9. Question number 3, Cuban Missile Crisis was 13 days. Question 4, Shakespearean sonnet 14 lines. Question 5 was 17. Question 6, so the cricket question, is 111. Question 7 was Fahrenheit 451. Question 8, and this is the millipede question, was 750. And we accepted anything from 700 to 790. Question 9 was the Nobel Prize award amount. That was 880,000, and we accepted from 850,000 to 890,000. And question 10, which was the Mars rover mission cost, and that was 2.7 billion, and we accepted 2.5 to 2.9 billion. And moving on to the third round, so the Banksy question was Nottingham. Question number 2 was Mexico. Question 3 was Cambodia. Question 4, the colony, that was North Carolina. Now, the Love Island question, as you should all know, is Majorca. Question number 6 was the Titanic question, and it was Canada. The Orient Express terminates in Istanbul. The ancient names for places, Aquaculus is Bath, Carthage is Tunisia or Tunis, and Parthia is Iran. The diamond question, the answer was India, and the Independence War was in Ireland. And going on to the fourth linking round, at the end of this, I will leave Laura to reveal what the link was because it was her genius work. But the answer to question number 1 was an angel. The celestial body is the sun. Question number 3 is the soul. The CNN chief is John King. Aslan is a Turkish word for a lion. The dome of the rock is capped with gold. The letter of the Greek alphabet, that's beta. A katana is a sword. Question number 9 was a monk. And we will leave it to Laura to... What was the link, Laura?
Well, I apologise for anyone who is attempting to be too highbrow here because the link was fish. So angelfish, sunfish, soul, the fish, kingfish, lionfish, goldfish, a beta, swordfish, and monkfish.
Yeah, so I didn't get that when we tried these out. I kept on thinking, is this part of Paradise Lost? Is it, I don't know, some kind of celestial theme going on? But it's quite misleading. But it's types of fish, which makes sense when you look at the answers. Yep, and a reminder on the picture form. So the answer is the name of the film that the film still is from. It should be fairly instant if you know what the film is, or you can try work it out if you look closely. But it's just the name of the film. And yeah, I'm meant to be recapping what the scores are, but have I been messaged the scores? We've got Freddie. We're going to need 2 more minutes apparently. So it's our job.
Tell us the story, Sophie.
Why do I always end up being the entertainer in these things? This happened last year, Laura. This happened last year.
Well, you're the events officer for a reason.
Yeah.
Well, I think Chris pitched us in with you, so I guess.
Fantastic. Welcome.
Wow, on the YouTube feed, it looks like we're up to £621.
Oh my God. See, I didn't think it would do this well. So
Fantastic.
£693 with gift aid. Guys, we're almost at 700. Just donate. We're almost there. What a lovely number 700 is. Wouldn't it be fantastic to get it over the line? I think it would.
I mean, everyone's sick of Zoom quizzes at this point, but this might be the last Zoom quiz that you have to endure. Things are looking up, so give generously one last time for this last event.
Yeah, and think of that £50 prize money. You could be going away with £50 worth of Krispy Kremes, ice cream, Prosecco, champagne. It's all in to win, guys.
Or book vouchers, Sophie. Or book vouchers. So whilst we're waiting, I just want to do a few shout outs. So firstly is a shout out to Claire from CRCC, who I think is watching, and all of the staff at CRCC who are taking part in the quiz tonight. We hope you're enjoying it. Secondly, another shout out to our co-hosts. So this is again being hosted by Cambridge University Liberal Association, Cambridge University Labour Club, and Cambridge University Conservative Association. And all of the feminist societies, hang on, let me read the list out again. At Jesus, Trinity Hall, Girton, St Cat's, Magdalene, Queen's, John's, and Emma. Thanks so much for your support in getting people to come. It's been great to work with you all.
I've just noticed that I assume Hannah's mum, perhaps Hannah's relative of some kind, has said in the chat that the latest Banksy was a new one last week in Reading, not Nottingham. So we'll have someone fact check that, and if that's true, we'll give marks to anyone who said Reading rather than Nottingham.
I'm from Nottingham, you see, and I just wanted Nottingham in there.
Yeah, we're still receiving the results. Hope you guys are having a nice time sitting at home. This could be the last, pub quiz you do. We're not almost at the other end, but almost at the other end. I've been harassed in the comments by Alicia Lee. So Alicia Lee, thank you for your love and your wonderful YouTube comment section skills. I have just been told to give a shout out to the Poser family and all other families of any committee members who've helped set this up. Thank you for your support. And my lovely sister who's joining in from London. But yeah. They're working on the scores very quickly. We've got our chair, Freddie, has literally got 3 computers on his desk and it looks like some kind of spy film. And our officer, Joshin, has been a whiz in setting up all the Google forms. So, yeah, hang on.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's been suggested we are delaying the halftime scores and we're going to do the next round. So they'll come after this round, which is round 5, Who Said It? And this is basically quotes, and you've got to identify who said them and what they said them in, so kind of what book, what play, or what film. And the link to this round is in the YouTube description. So I'll just give you 30 seconds to find it and make sure it's not a rush. But go on the YouTube page. Link is on there.
It's the one saying quiz 2.
Quiz 2. Ooh, we're at £692 and 2 pence. I'm reliably informed. So close. 69 pence.
Oh, the scores have just come in.
Oh, thank goodness. Oh, wait. Okay, this is very exciting.
I have to disqualify whichever team called themselves Professor Quiz Witty.
I feel like that's an old name. Oh, wow. Okay, wait, so just to confirm, Josh, and we've got 15 team scores, no more? Yeah, 14. Okay, so, I don't know, is it mean to go from bottom to top, or should we just go bottom to top? Okay, so in 14, we have Cambridge Lib Dems at 20.5. Above them is Gary, Sambrew, Kays, Big Dinners on 22. Oh, and then we've got Little Trinity at Jesus College on 22.5. Oh gosh, and you guys are on joint with Chapel 2 and Chad's, all on 22.5. Then we move into 9th place with the Quiz Ladies, and they're on 23. And then Alad's iPad is on 24. And then Peter, Paul, and Mary Wollstonecraft is on 26. Viva la Volva is on 27. Kuka Committee edging in there on place 5 with 28.5. On a draw with Buzzing Friend and the Guessing Skills. Apparently this isn't all the teams, and Josh sent me the samples, and this is the top 15. So to anyone below that, I'll read you out in a second, but we're about to come up to who's on top. So, I'm going to continue. So Buzzing Friend and the Guessing Skills are on 28.5 as well. And they've been just beaten on 29.5 by Professor Quiz Witty. And above them, okay, Johnny, Holly, and later Eliza are on 30. And then on 31 is uterial motives. And in first place with 31. And now I'm getting comments that saying there's more teams and I need to read them out. Oh my goodness, Josh. Okay, we're just going to get the top 15. But for those I haven't read out, this next round is your chance to get into the top 15 and to have your quiz name graced on this fabulous YouTube channel. And we're going to give the 4 listed teams at the end after we get through round 5 and round 6. But those are some very inventive quiz team names. Jesus, okay. Finally, moving on to round 5, who said it? Let's go to question number 1. The form is in the description, as said before. Please click and fill out, put your team name so that we know how to mark you and where it goes. Question number 1. Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn. Question number 2. It makes no damn sense. Compels me, though. So your answers should be who said the quote and where the quote's from. Question number 3. Chicken bhuna, lamb bhuna, prawn bhuna, mushroom rice, bag of chips and 9 poppadoms. Question number 4. I burn for you. We're looking for the character, by the way, not the person who plays the character in real life, the character. Question number 5. All we have to decide is what to do with the time that is given to us. Question number 6. I could easily forgive his pride if he had not mortified mine. Question number 7. If music be the food of love, play on. Question number 8. Are you not entertained? Question number 9. Life is too short to be angry at one's sisters. Question number 10, the last question in this round. A handbag, or more emphatically put, a handbag? So that is the end of this round. I'm going to go back through quickly and quick fire out the questions again, in case you missed a few or weren't sure. But going back to question number 1, the quote was, "Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn." Question number 2, "It makes no damn sense. Compels me though." Question number 3, chicken boona, lamb boona, prawn boona, mushroom rice, bag of chips, and 9 poppadoms. Question number 4, I burn for you. Question number 5, all we have to decide is what to do with the time that is given to us. Question number 6, I could easily forgive his pride if he had not mortified mine. Question number 7, if music be the food of love, play on. Question 8, are you not entertained? Question 9, life is too short to be angry at one's sisters. I would know. And question 10, a handbag. I've been told by the comms man in my ear to tell Pisha to be quiet, or more affectionately put, to shut up. But moving on to round 6, which Helena is presenting, I pass on the mantle to you.
Thank you. Gratefully received. Okay, we're on £760 now. Thank you so much to everyone who's already given, and for all those who haven't given yet, please do. So I'm going to take you through round 6, which is her story. So history, but not quite as we were always taught it in school. This isn't just going to be your average like Queen Elizabeth I and the BBC History Magazine kind of women. You're going to have to think a little bit harder than that, but I think it's pretty fun. So in most cases, we're going to ask you for the name of someone, but in 2 cases, it's going to be a slightly, a different answer. So let's start with number 1. Which Jamaican-born nurse is revered for her humanitarian work during the Crimean War, where she set up the British Hotel and treated injured servicemen? Question 2. Who's the queen of the British Celtic Iceni tribe who led an uprising against the Roman Empire in 60 or 61 AD? Okay, I have been told it's pronounced Iceni tribe. Thank you, comms man in my ear. Okay, question 3. Which wife of an English king was dubbed the She-Wolf of France by William Shakespeare? Question 4. What is the name of the American tennis player who beat tennis champion Bobby Riggs in the 1973 Battle of the Sexes match? Question 5. What is the name of the first female mathematician whose life is reasonably well recorded? She was a Neoplatonist philosopher, astronomer, and mathematician who lived in Alexandria. Question 6. What is the name of the mathematician who calculated the trajectory for the 1961 spaceflight of Alan Shepard, the first American in space? Her career at NASA formed the plot of the recent film Hidden Figures, and she was awarded the Presidential Medal for Freedom in 2015. Question 7. What is the name of the Italian Baroque painter who became the first female member of the Accademia di Arte del Disegno in Florence? Sorry, I don't speak Italian. One of her iconic works, and I mean iconic, is the violent depiction of Judith slaying Holofernes, thought also to be a self-portrait. Question 8. Who wrote Go Set a Watchman? Or in other words, what's the name of the author of the novel Go Set a Watchman? Question 9. In 1988, Benazir Bhutto became the first female prime minister of which country? And finally, question 10. What was the model organism used extensively by the Nobel Prize-winning geneticist Barbara McClintock? We're at £791. It's fantastic. Thank you so much. Okay, we're going to go back through these questions as a recap. But before that, just to say, we only need 10 more to get us over £800. And I really appreciate when you go on the version giving page, you can see some people are putting in those little amounts just to chip us forward. Thanks Sam Rubenstein and Lyra Brown for giving us £1.69 and so on. Every little helps, so please do keep giving. So Freddie, I can hear Freddie laughing in my ear. So just to go back over these questions. Question 1. Which Jamaican-born nurse is revered for her humanitarian work during the Crimean War, where she set up the British Hotel and treated injured servicemen? Question 2. The Queen of the British Celtic Iceni tribe, who led an uprising against the Roman Empire in 60 or 61 AD. We're not quite sure. Which wife of an English king was dubbed the She-Wolf of France by William Shakespeare? Question 4 being, what is the name of the American tennis player who beat tennis champion Bobby Riggs in the 1973 Battle of the Sexes match? Question 5, what is the name of the first female mathematician whose life is reasonably well recorded? She was a Neoplatonist philosopher, astronomer, and mathematician who lived in Alexandria. Question 6, what is the name of the mathematician who calculated the trajectory for the 1961 spaceflight of Alan Shepard, the first American in space? Her career at NASA formed the plot of the recent film Hidden Figures, and she was awarded the Presidential Medal for Freedom in 2015. Question 7, the name of the Italian Baroque painter who became the first female member of the Accademia d'Arte del Disegno in Florence. One of her iconic works is the violent depiction of Judith slaying Holofernes, thought to be a self-portrait. Question 8 being, who wrote Go Set a Watchman? Question 9, in 1988, Benazir Bhutto became the first female prime minister of which country? And finally, question 10, what model organism was used extensively by the Nobel Prize-winning geneticist Barbara McClintock? Before I pass on to the next round, just to give a few more shout-outs from the page. Oscar Wooding has donated £15 and asked, please may I have Sophie's snap? Peter McLaughlin for another £1.69. For Alicia Lee with the message, everyone loves West. Jemima Wickham, thank you. Luke Hallam, thank you. Hayes Wrights with the message, follow my channel and pre-order my book. Thanks, Hayes Wrights. Seb Putman, we will win. And so on. £20 from the Cuckoo Committee. Thank you so much. There are loads more to go through. And if you want a shout out, make sure you donate another little bit more so that your name goes to the top of the list. Okay, that's enough from me for now. Let's go to Laura for the sudden death round.
Okay, so this is the final round of the quiz, and the way this round will work is that you will get double points for every question that you answer correctly. But if you answer any one question of this round wrong, you get 0 for the round. So if you're not sure, don't say anything. And if you are sure, then put an answer in and you might be able to move up the league table. So, question 1. There is no patent. Could you patent the sun? Said Jonas Salk with regards to which vaccine? Question 2. The 19th century artist Hokusai is famous for a series of 36 paintings of which geographical landmark? Apparently, we've just got over £800, which is incredible. If we can do one final last push in the last 20 minutes of the quiz, that would be incredible. But I'm so pleased we've managed to get over 800. So, question 3, name the 4 humours as promoted by Hippocrates in ancient Greece. Question 4. For what talent was Arachne punished by Athena? Question 5. Who holds the record for most goals in Brazilian international football? Question 6. Name all of the Infinity Stones featured in the Marvel Cinematic Universe films. I'll give you a clue, there are 6. Apparently. Question 7. Amharic is the national language of which African country? Question 8. You can't step in the same river twice is a common saying attributed to which ancient philosopher? Question 9. What does laser actually stand for? And the final question of the quiz, what was the nationality of the composer Sibelius? So a reminder before anyone submits that round, only submit questions you're sure about. If you get any wrong on that round, you'll get 0 for the round. So only put in answers that you're sure of. You get 2 points for every correct answer. So I'll go through them again very quickly. Question 1, there is no patent. Could you patent the sun, said Salk, with regards to which vaccine? Question 2, Hokusai is famous for a series of 36 paintings of which landmark? Question 3, name the 4 humours as promoted by Hippocrates. Question 4, for what talent was Arachne punished by Athena? Question 5, who holds the record for the most goals in Brazilian international football? 6, name the Infinity Stones in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Question 7, Amharic is the national language of which African country? Question 8, you can't step in the same river twice is a common saying attributed to which philosopher? Question 9, what does laser stand for? And question 10, what is the nationality of the composer Sibelius? So we'll take another 5 to 10 minute break. Do submit as soon as you can. It means the answers will get back to you as quickly as we can possibly do them, and keep donating so that we can get the highest possible amount by the end of this, by the end of the evening. And the picture round questions also have to be submitted before the end of this break. So take 5 minutes, make sure you've got them all filled in, and then submit. See you in 10 minutes.
Okay, thank you, everyone. Welcome back after your break. So before we move on to the answers and the final scores, I'm going to give you notice that you have a minute to submit all of your Google Forms. So this includes the questions that we just read out and also your picture round in which you need the names of the film stills that are there. Please remember when submitting to make sure that your team name stays the same because this speeds up the marking. Spaces count. Please make sure it's the same because otherwise it's a little bit difficult to add up all of your points for all the different rounds. So you've got a minute to submit. So I'm just going to give you one final, incentive to donate because we're so close to £900 now. Actually, I've just heard we're really close to £1,000 with gift aid, which is absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much to everyone who's donated. And I just want to reiterate the very, very kind of somber and, upsetting fact that COVID-19 has been accompanied by what the UN has called a shadow pandemic of violence and abuse, with people trapped in their homes or less able or less likely to seek help. And it is really important that we do support those amazing organisations and charities who are here for the most vulnerable people at the time when they're most in need. And a reminder that Cambridge Rape Crisis Centre has really been impacted by the pandemic. And despite having to adjust their services, put things online and make extra kind of provisions that they didn't have to before, they're still coping with an increase in demand, which is absolutely fantastic. But like they said before, every little helps. So if you can, please do donate. And that's your minute up. So if you haven't submitted now, there's nothing I can do for you. Right, Laura is going to go and take us through the answers. And hopefully after that, if Laura goes slowly enough, we'll have the final scores and the scoreboard. Okay, Laura's going to be here now.
Hello. Right, okay, so the answers to the second half of the quiz. So round 5, which was Sophie's Who Said It round. Question 1, Frankly, My Dear, I Don't Give a Damn, is of course Rhett Butler from Gone with the Wind. Question 2, which I'm informed has become a meme recently. I would never have got it, but it's Benoit Blanc from Knives Out. Question 3 is Smithy from Gavin and Stacey. Question 4, I Burn for You. I guess we can all guess who it was who submitted this question, Sophie. And that was Duke of Hastings, Simon Bassett from Bridgerton. Question 5, all we have to do is decide which of the time that's given to us is, of course, Gandalf from Lord of the Rings. Question 6 is Elizabeth Bennet from Pride and Prejudice. Question 7 is Duke Orsino from Twelfth Night. Question 8 is Maximus Decimus Meridius from Gladiator. Question 9 is Joe March from Little Women. And the last question, handbag, is of course Lady Bracknell from The Importance of Being Earnest, but we might also accept other Importance of Being Earnest characters because I think it is a much said line. On to the next round, Helena's herstory line. So question 1 is of course Mary Seacole. Question 2 is Boudica. Question 3, Margaret of Anjou. Question 4, Billie Jean King. Question 5 is Hypatia. Question 6 is Catherine Johnson. Question 7 was Artemisia Gentileschi. I think we'll probably accept some mistakes in spelling on that one. Question 8 was Harper Lee. Question 9 was Pakistan. And question 10, the model organism was maize. So the final round, the sudden death round, the vaccine is polio. Just a reminder of this round, if you get any of these wrong and you've answered them, you'll get 0 for the round, unfortunately. So question 1 is polio. Question 2 is Mount Fuji. Question 3, the options are blood, yellow bile, black bile, and phlegm. Question 9, the talent was weaving. That's why spider, arachne, arachnid. Question 4, sorry, it was that one. Question 5, the most goals in Brazilian international football. And I feel like there's going to be some outrage over this because we got a lot of Pelés, but it is actually Marta Vieira da Silva, who has scored 109 goals for Brazil. Question 6, the Infinity Stones, space, reality, power, mind, time, and soul. Question 7 is Ethiopia. Question 8, the philosopher was Heraclitus. Laser stands for light amplification by stimulated emission of radiation. And the final question, and a bit of an Easter egg for anyone who got it, Sibelius is Finnish. So the final answer was Finnish. So I've been told we've just reached £1,000, which so apparently what pushed us over the £1,000 mark was a donation from someone claiming to be Stephen Toop. So I thank you very much to Stephen Toop, or the artist formerly known as Stephen Toop, for pushing us over £1,000. That's absolutely incredible. So I'll quickly go through the picture round answers now before we get the final scores and distribute the prizes. So picture rounds. The first. Oh. Okay, so I can do the picture round now. Okay. Right. Question 1 of the picture round was, of course, the French film Les Intouchables, The Untouchables. Question 2, one of my favorite films ever, was Some Like It Hot. Question 3 was that iconic scene from Apocalypse Now. Those were the other way around, apparently. Question 4, a confusing one I can see, but that was from Peter Pan, the Mermaid's Grotto in Peter Pan. Question 5 was Django Unchained, or Django. Question 6 was, of course, the socks in Parasite. Question 7 was The Sound of Music. Question 8 with the folded over landscape was Inception. Question 9 was The Apartment. Question 10 was the famous fountain scene from Atonement. Question 11 was Blade Runner. Question 12 was the door in The Truman Show. Question 13 was the kitchen in Ratatouille. Question 14 was Life of Pi. Question 15 was Goodbye Lenin. Question 16 was Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. Question 17, and I think perhaps the hardest question in the entire quiz, was in fact from Singing in the Rain, if you can believe that. Question 18 was Notting Hill. Question 19 was Dracula. And question 20, the final of the whole quiz, was The Seventh Samurai. So that's the end of the quiz, and it's all of your answers. If you give us a couple of minutes, we'll get the scores back to you. Right, apparently there's some debate going on about Pele.
So here is from the group chat, Jacob claiming that Pele has the most goals. You read the most caps. I knew it was Pele. And then when I said, well, I said, let's check this. And we checked it, and this is what we got. She holds the record for the most goals in Brazilian international football, male or female, with 109 goals per country. Jacob's response was, oh no, I have been an accidental sexist. I wonder if that's answered anyone else's questions.
So we've been asked by someone who's just far too clever for their own good whether giving the original names of the humours would count. I think the answer is yes, but we intensely dislike you for making us go back and manually mark some original Greek names for the humours. But yes, of course, they'll count. So we're over 1,000 by £88. I'm honestly amazed that we've done so well with this quiz. The last quiz we raised around about a similar amount, but I wasn't hopeful that this time, with everyone being as bored of Zoom as they are, that we would match it. So thank you so much to everyone who's donated and let us get over that £1,000 mark again. That's just such a great thing for us to be able to go back to the charity and give them
whilst we're on the subject, I think I'll pop in my thank yous now whilst we're waiting for the final marks. So first of all, yet another thank you to Cambridge University Labour Club, Cambridge University Liberal Association and Cambridge University Conservative Association for not only hosting and sharing and spreading the word, but also for donating for our prizes. And to the feminist societies from Jesus Trinity Hall, Girton, St Catherine's, Magdalen Queen's, St John's and Emmanuel. Thank you also to Cambridge Rape Crisis Centre for helping us organise this, especially Claire Baker, who has given us these T-shirts, which we will treasure. Thank you to Laura and Sophie, who have been awesome co-hosts and helped write the devilishly tricky questions, especially Laura there. You can see why she's on University Challenge. Thank you also, Hannah, for helping us write as well. Thank you, Freddie, who's behind this, who's talking in our ears. So when we suddenly go blank and then say something, that's because he's telling us what to say. He's there with like 3 different screens and it's very complicated. So thank you so much, Freddie. Thank you, Joshin, for your wizardry in setting up all the automatic marking, etc., just to really speed this up. Because if you think this year's slow, last year we were there for like half an hour waiting. So this is absolutely fantastic. And thank you to you who are watching, who donated, who taken part. Thank you so much. It's been great fun, and we hope you had fun. And don't be too disheartened if you didn't get that many of them right, because I definitely wouldn't have.
We've got to say a special thank you to, I don't know if it really was Stephen Toop or if someone was just giving us an incredible amount of money on behalf of Stephen Toop, but whoever that was that donated £200 in the name of Stephen Toop. If you are Stephen Toop, you're a legend, and if you're not Stephen Toop, you're a legend. So so our chair of CULA, Freddie, says he will be emailing Stephen Toop in the morning to confirm whether or not that really was him. And if it wasn't, then thank you so much to this anonymous hero. Yep, we're also being told by the God in our ear that if everyone just donated another £1 or £2 at this point, we would beat last year's amount of money, which really would blow my mind because last year we had multiple events in order to get to this point. But if people would just donate £1 or £2 in the name of whoever you want, it can be as silly as you want. £1 or £2 from everyone who's still watching the call would get us up over last year.
Hang on, I'm going to donate.
Yeah, I'm going to make another donation.
Right, we're very close to having the answers.
We're going to go onto the holding screen for 2 seconds whilst the answers come in. So yeah, see you in 2 minutes.
Okay, well, I'll probably read. I think most of the ones at the bottom don't have the form, but yeah, I'll read them anyway.
Oh, we live.
Welcome back.
Live TV. Okay, we have the scores. So I'm going to read them out and I'll obviously start from the bottom up. I think we need to bear in mind that some of these very bottom scores perhaps have not submitted entire rounds. But I'll start from the bottom and I'll work my way up. I'll give people a second to get back on the call. Okay, good. We're back up to. Nice. Okay, so starting the team in the 31st position, who I think almost certainly did not submit every round, is the Working Adults with 8.5. Then we have Izzy Kaufman with 10. And then I think we jump up to a couple more rounds submitted with Release the Beast Bimini with 31. Then we have Mark and Cheryl, 33.5. Then Ryan's 34. Then I don't think we're very good at this, 35. Then X on the Beach, 35.5. Magdalenites, 37.5.
Magda ladies.
Women's brackets Hayes Rights, 39.5.
Oh, that's very good. That's very clever.
40.5. Also, Wheelie Do Good Quizzers on 40.5. Then a quiz team on 43.5. Little Trinity at Jesus College, 48. Dream Team, 48.5. MOFers, 49. Chapel 2, 51.5. Freddie Posers Fan Club, 52.5. Oh, I think that's Freddie's family. So massive shout out to Freddie's family and thank you for joining us. Then Buzzing Friend and the Guessing Skills, 54.5. Gary Sambrook's Big Dinners, 55.5, and also Cambridge Lib Dems, 55.5. Quiz Ladies, 56, and also Andrew Lloyd Web Quiz, 56. We're now into the top 10. KUKA Committee, 56.5. Alid's iPads, 58.5. Chad's, 59. Viva La Vulva, 61.5. And we're now in the top 5. So in 5th position, we have Johnny and Holly, and later Eliza, with 64.5. Then in 4th position, we have Peter, Paul, and Mary Willenscraft with 69.5. Then in 3rd position, we have Professor Quiz Witty with 71.5.
Yeah, that's second.
Oh, that's second. So because in number 1 we have team name. So in 1st place we have Uterial Motives with 80 points. So well done to Uterial Motives and Professor Chris Whitty, 1st and 2nd teams.
You have won a considerable amount of money, but get into contact with us so we know who you are. And thank you, KUKA, for contributing to the money prize.
Well, vouchers. You'll have £50 worth of vouchers to spend on whatever you want. And 2nd place, Professor Quiz Witty, will get £30 worth of vouchers to spend on whatever they want. If it really is Professor Quiz Witty, maybe he can buy himself a clicker. Where are we at with money, Freddie? We are at £1,155. That's £1,251.25 with gift aid. So with gift aid, we have the last year's fundraising amount, which is absolutely fantastic. I'm so happy. Thank you so much to everyone who's donated, taken part. Thank you especially to Stephen too. We'll get back to you on whether that really was the man himself. And yeah, anything else you have to say? Apart from another round of thank yous to everyone who I thanked already before. If you want some, data average scores, then stick around for a little bit longer. We might stay on the stream. But otherwise, you're free to go. And yeah, I really hope you enjoyed it. Thank you, Freddie, Sophie, Laura, KUKA, Colk, CULA, all the FemSoc Joshin, big thanks, Joshin. CRCC, everyone. All right.
And
Stephen
too. Thank you to Stephen too. We will post in the Facebook event and let everyone know whether or not Stephen too was in fact that anonymous big donor. Well, yes, anonymous or not, depending whether it is him. I feel like if it was him, he probably wouldn't say so, but we'll find out. Right, so we'll go through, for anyone who's still around, perhaps you're interested to know, we have average scores per round. So we have, for the first round, the Who Am I round, 5.8 out of 10 was the average score. For the second round, Number Wang, this was not a great round for everyone. 3.9 was the average score of that round. For the second round, Where in the World, the average score was 5 out of 10. And then for the linking round, the average score was 5.8. Helena, do you want to continue?
Well, I'll just comment and say I definitely would have got 5.8 on the linking round. Round 6 was a bit better here. We got 5.9. Round 5 was also 5.9. Sorry, so those round 5 and 6 are the same. Round 7, we're plummeting back down again to 3.9. And bear in mind that a lot of teams will have got 0 here due to an unfortunate mistake, as this was the sudden death round. And then the picture round being at 20, the average score was 13.8. So I'd say a pretty tough quiz.
Yeah, do you feel a little bit like John King at the moment? I feel a bit like John King, just like content for the people.
We have a win.
Wow. I mean,
let's go to the ad break.
I mean, I think we should maybe wrap it up and let people go. And I've had demands to catch up on the Harry and Meghan interview, which I think was streaming at the same time as this.
Yeah, a big thanks to everyone who stayed on rather than watching the Harry and Meghan interview.
Yeah, but to the team that got 80, that's phenomenal. I can't even imagine who's in your team to be able to get that much on this quiz. But no, thank you everyone for coming.
Okay, we're going for real now, aren't we? We're saying goodbye for real.
Yes, we are.
Bye everyone. Thanks so much.